Hello and welcome to another very college-oriented video on this channel. I just think these videos are useful because I'm pretty sure everyone who's in high school looking for college advice looks these types of videos up. I know I did. But I wanted to make a video about things that I find to be really important or essential in especially living in the dorms or just being at college. And I also got some things from other people, so it wasn't just my opinion. But I wanted to get things that you don't think of. I feel like in a lot of videos it's the exact same things over and over, things that you just know, like a mirror or a light. But I wanted to get some things that you might not think of or might not feel like you need. So let's just get started and I'll stop rambling. Okay, so the first thing on the list I actually think is super important, and this is actually a suggestion from my friend Ben, but that is decent seating. A lot of the times people go to college, the most seating they're going to have is a futon. I think a lot of people go with just a chair, like those folding chairs. But if you're in a dorm, chances are a lot of the time you're going to be hanging out in your dorm, so people are going to be in there. And the dorms that people hang out in are only the dorms where people have room to sit. Because either if you bring someone into your dorm, chances are they're going to be sitting in a hard desk chair, and that's not very fun. So it's really nice to have a futon and folding chairs, or a ton of folding chairs, just good places for people to sit and just to be able to hang out. And I think that is super important because I didn't have a lot of seating in my room, and I've gotten more, and my room's a lot more comfortable for other people to be in. It's a lot more comfortable for me to be in, and overall it's just a way better experience. Okay, the second thing that I have is something that I think a few people think of and people always think are good, but they don't really think it's a necessity. But I would say a light that isn't like a lamp or your overhead light. So Christmas lights or LEDs, twinkly lights. And this sounds like something you really don't need, and that's true. You don't need it. But chances are you're not going to want to sit here with your super bright, badly colored overhead light. Most people I know, I have Christmas lights in my room, either have Christmas lights or they have LEDs, and that's all they use. I have a little clip-on lamp that I use sometimes. Most of the time I just use my Christmas lights. It makes the lighting a lot better. It makes the environment so much better. It makes it so much more enjoyable to be in your room and for other people to be in your room, and it makes your Snapchats look better. So if you can get some lights, I know LEDs are expensive, so Christmas lights may be better. But LEDs are pretty nice, and you can get ones that sync to music, so if you want to hang out in your room with a lot of people, could be fun. And I think it's good to have good lighting and a good environment. The third thing I have on the list, if you're a boy, not trying to be any sexist, but this one's really for you, something for smell. Girls I tend to think of this, but I think guys don't, but either like a wall plug-in. I have a wall plug-in, a diffuser, and the little incense stick things, but they're, anyway. I think it's really important because you're in a really small enclosed space, and probably all of your trash cans are in your room, and your laundry's probably in your room, and you probably don't clean it as often as you probably should, like your bedding and stuff. So it's important, and people can tell when they walk in your room and you don't have a clean room. But if people walk in your room and you have a scent thing to mask it all, or you don't want to take your trash out super often, I think it's super important. So get something for smell. I think a wall plug-in is probably the best thing. And when people walk in your room and it smells good, not even just if your room doesn't smell bad, if your room smells good, it makes it so much more inviting, and it just makes people like you more. And that's the whole point of college, is to make friends. So if you can have a good smelling room, one of my guy friends' rooms always smells like vanilla, and it's just wonderful. You just want to be in there all the time, and it's just considerate of him to have that. Okay, the fourth thing on the list is something that is a little basic, but I have it on the list for a non-basic reason. So that's a Keurig. No point to the fact that I have a cup of coffee in my hand. But I don't have a Keurig on the list for the reason of so you can make coffee. It is obviously super good to make coffee and to make tea. I think a Keurig is important to make food. I use a Keurig to make mac and cheese cups. I use it to make ramen. Not even just the microwavable ramen, but an actual packet of ramen. I put it in a bowl and put it under my Keurig and just put hot water in it until it gets soft. I think it's super important because a lot of the times you want to eat. And speaking of wanting to eat, that leads us to the next thing on the list, and that is to not have just snacks like everyone says, but to have food, because your dining hall will close. No matter how many times you're able to go there, your dining hall will close. You need to have food. Whether that's just mac and cheese cups, ramen, the basic college things, bread, peanut butter, jelly, food. Because if you don't have food in your room, it's gonna be 1 a.m. and you're gonna be starving. And you're gonna end up going to Taco Bell, which is how you gain a freshman 15 and you lose all of your money. So have food, because a lot of times I will be sitting with people and we're all starving and we're eating like Cheez-Its because no one has any food. So make sure you bring things to eat. Even if it seems like a waste because you're planning for a dieting plan, there will be times when you want to eat that you can't go get food. Okay, and sticking to the food plan, this one's kind of dependent on where you go to school, but I think it's good to have pans. At least for our school, UND, if you're going to University of North Dakota, there's a kitchenette on the bottom floor so you can go cook things or make things in the oven. And regarding food, sometimes you're hungry and you don't have money or you can't go to the dining hall and you just want to make a box of mac and cheese. Just last night at like 2 a.m. we were downstairs Saturday night making a box of mac and cheese because we were just all hungry. But the first time you have that idea, oh, let's go make mac and cheese, you realize absolutely no one in a dorm has pans. So I definitely bring pans. I actually brought some with me, so that was super helpful to me and every single person I know. And then when a lot of people went back for Christmas break, they came back with pans because they realized that it was a good thing to have. So if you do have the opportunity to have a kitchenette, even if you think you're not going to use it, bring a pan. At least just one pan to make macaroni and cheese, rice, spaghetti, something super easy, warm up some soup, something like that. Okay, we have 3 things left on this list, one of which I have with me right now, and that is cozy blankets and just cozy anything. And this sounds like such a girl thing if you're a guy. But I have a ton of like cozy blankets and stuff in my room, and people love it, and a lot of my guy friends went home and they were like, I need to buy cozy stuff, and they bought like furry pillow covers and blankets. It's just nice to have, and it makes the environment better. But on top of that, certain colleges you can control your heat, certain colleges you can't. I can control my like radiator, but I don't have like a thermostat. So a lot of times your temperature isn't exactly where you want it to be, especially if you're in a dorm where you can't control your heat. One of my friends has that. So it's super nice to have cozy blankets. Don't just have the blankets on your bed, have a blanket for a chair or just a lot. No matter where I am, most of the time I have a blanket on me, especially me because I run cold. You can even bring blankets to other people's rooms, but it also just makes the environment better. But it is super nice to have for warmth and to just be comfortable in your environment. On that note, I think it's also important to have a jacket that you can wear indoors. So I have like a soft black jacket that's just hanging right there. Something that I can wear inside, because a lot of people have outdoor jackets and you come inside and the temperature's perfect. But a lot of times the temperature's not perfect, or even if you can control all of your temperature, you'll go in someone else's room and it won't be. So hoodies are super important. You need to have 8 bajillion hoodies in college. But also on top of that, just like a nice jacket that you can wear that's comfortable and soft and just easy to wear somewhere else, just around the dorm when you're feeling cold. The last thing I have on my list for today is stuff to do. And that is the most general, broad thing, but you need to have stuff to do in your dorm because you're probably stressed about college. You probably think you're gonna have a lot to do, and there's a lot to do. There's things that you can go do. You're gonna have schoolwork, obviously, but you live in this room, and chances are you're gonna have a lot more free time here than you think. So it's important to have something, whether it be video games, like bringing your Xbox or your Switch, or having music, like bringing an instrument, or books, or drawing, whatever you like to do. But bring it. Don't look at all of your hobbies and think, I don't need them. Don't bring everything. That's excessive. But at least bring 1 or 2 things that you can do here just to fill up your time. And it's also really good for your mental health, just to have something to do, just to focus on, just be by yourself, just do something that you like. Okay, so that was it for this cozy little college video. I think it's important to know things like that, things that aren't things that everyone tells you to get or aren't in the dorm aisle. Also, my friend Ben said to bring an air fryer because he really wishes he had one, and you can have them in dorms, I think. I'm not even sure. But that would be nice, and again, that goes with the food thing. It's nice to have ways to make food. We're not even allowed to have microwaves in our dorm, but we have one on our floor, so it's not that bad, but it's super nice. I promise. Bring food. You won't think you need it, but you will need it. You will turn into way more of a college kid than you ever think you will. But yeah, thanks for listening to this video. This is my journey. Not all of my videos will be college related, but a lot of them are right now just because that's where I am in my life. So if you want to subscribe, that'd be awesome. Or if you want to go watch some other videos, that'd be cool too. I have a lot of college vlogs. I have a dorm tour if you're going to UND. And yeah, thanks for being here.